In the past few weeks, some states here in Nigeria have been on lockdown. Lagos, Ogun State, and Abuja during the past 4 weeks have experienced partial lockdown and total lockdown. And there are even some states that are even still on total lockdown in the country, which means that people won't be able to go out to work. Most businesses are going to be on close down, and people's source of income and earnings are going to be drastically reduced during this period of time. Now, in this episode of Meet the Property Guy, we'll be looking at how this is going to affect the real estate market and the property industry here in Nigeria, and what property investors and real estate companies should also be expecting in the next 4 to 6 months. Now, if you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this Meet the Property Guy property channel, and this is where we discuss everything real estate. This is where we share tips and guides about if you want to buy, invest or sell property here in Nigeria. Our advice after watching this video is subscribe to our channel and like our page, and also watch some of our previous guides. So in this episode, we are going to be looking at it in 3 different perspectives. We are going to be looking at it in terms of real estate companies, how they are going to be affected, and property investors, also people that have property already or that have a land banking or rental property already, how they are also going to be affected. And if you're also a property buyer or you intend to buy property in the Nigerian real estate market during this period of time, we are also going to share some tips and guides for you on how you can benefit. Now, firstly, we are going to start with real estate companies. Real estate companies are going to be affected in a number of ways. Their source of capital are going to be severely affected, and it's likely also their expenses are also going to skyrocket. Now, most real estate companies currently sell most of their estates on payment plans. So I'm going to predict an increase in the number of defaults and also termination of some of these contracts in the next 3 to 4 months. Because when people's source of income, when their customers' source of income are being affected, then most of them are going to find it very hard for them to meet up with their monthly installment. So people will start defaulting on the installment payments that they have with real estate companies, and some, when they find it too difficult, they may also apply for a termination of the contract and also call for a refund. So real estate companies should be prepared for scenarios like this. Furthermore, real estate companies are also going to find it very hard for them to deliver on their projects, especially in terms of maybe if they have a housing project ongoing or they have infrastructural development projects ongoing in their estates. And this because simultaneously we are also experiencing a oil crash globally, which will also affect us here and also affect our currency exchange. And unfortunately, most building materials that we use here, most construction materials that we use are imported. So that means once the currency exchange is affected, most of these building materials are also going to increase in price. And if these materials, if their prices increase, then definitely the cost of delivering this project for real estate companies are also going to increase too. So real estate companies will have to make a very, very hard decision about increasing the price of their product or reducing or coming down on quality of what they are expected to deliver. So if you have a project that you have keyed in any of these real estate companies, you might actually be expecting a delay in delivering of this project in the next 3 or 4 months. The delay can be for maybe 2 weeks, can be for months also, depending on how reputable the company that you subscribe with. Now, moving forward to property investors, that's people that have a property already. Either you have a rental property or you have a land banking investment already. There will be low turnout of returns from your property investment. In a previous video where I talked extensively about real estate investments, I explained there that one of the factors that can affect your real estate returns is economic factors. When there is an economic recession or depression, or when people are not earning that much, it's always going to affect your the returns, the estimated returns from your real estate investment. So if you have a rental property, it may take a while for your tenants for them to pay their annual rent. So our advice, if you have a rental property, you can make some tweaks and some adjustments on how you collect your rent. So So instead of waiting for at the end of the year, you can start encouraging your tenants to pay maybe monthly or quarterly, so that at least you can still get some funds from them instead of collecting stories at the end of the year. Now, if you also have a property that you bought maybe for investment purpose, you are looking at the property should appreciate maybe by 50 or 40% in the number of months, that is also going to change, because the acquisition curve of properties during this period of time will be very, very linear. So you shouldn't be expecting prices of properties to skyrocket. Instead, it's going to steadily appreciate over time, because of, not like just going up that much. So the returns and the profits that you'll be expecting from your real estate investment during this period of time should be minimal. And that will also take us to analyzing the property market during this period of time. The property market for likely the next 3 to 6 months will experience what we call a property glut, which means that there will be more property in the market than buyers. So most people will go into the market to sell off their property, and there will be less buyers that are interested in buying these properties, which will likely cause what we call a price crash. Because when there are so many properties in the market and you want to sell, another person wants to sell, 3 or 4 people want to sell, so people might start slashing the price of their properties just because they need funds urgently and they want to sell out as fast as possible. So there will be so many distress sales, and the price of property in some location will likely crash because of people's needs for funds. So most people will be looking at how they can get funds for their business, how they can get funds after maybe they lost their jobs, and how they can get funds maybe to venture into a new investment, and they may be looking or be interested in selling off their properties, and some will be interested to sell these properties in distress. So a property that is selling in a location for maybe 8 million, 10 million before, people may start selling at 4 or 5 million just because they want to sell off that property as fast as possible and they need those funds urgently. So if you are a property investor and you have a property already, this is a bad time to sell. So I would advise that you keep hold of whatever property or property investment that you have for now, because it's very unlikely that you are going to make high returns or you are going to sell that property at the expected value of that property. Now, for property buyers, this is the best time to buy. Whenever there is an economic crash like this, and major investment generally, either in stock, is Bitcoin, is real estate investment, it's always a bad time to sell, but a very, very good time to buy. So if you are a property buyer or a property investor, you can start monitoring the market in some specific locations and look at a nice property investment that you can key into, because prices of properties are going to likely crash in some of these locations, and the acquisition curve will also be linear, so most people will not be selling at high price or at the expected value of that property. So another very important thing is, as I mentioned earlier, that there will be what we call a property glut, which means that property buyers will have more negotiation power. So you can negotiate on the price, you can negotiate on the payment plan, because there are not much people that want to buy at this period of time, and there are just maybe one out of 10 person that is interested in that property. So you can negotiate the price, you can negotiate the payment plan, you can do a 18-month payment plan or 12-month payment plan on a property that before is always on outright. So this is a very, very good time to buy a property. This is a very good time to invest in a property, and if you have some spare funds, you can always key into some very attractive off-plan or land banking investment at this period of time, because the acquisition curve and the price of those properties are going to be stable during this period. The real estate industry is very, very capital intensive and is only for a specific bracket of income earners. So if the earning power of these people are affected, or and there's no much capital in circulation, definitely the real estate industry is going to be very, very much affected. But positively, in the next 6 to 12 months, most economies globally will also start recovering, and most of our biggest customers, which are our brothers and sisters abroad, will also start looking at what they can invest here in Nigeria after the pandemic, because most of them are also very much interested in having something back here after the crisis that they have been facing there over the past 3 months. So it's likely that in the next 12 months, things will also bounce back, and the demand for properties are also going to rise back again. So that's why I also advise that if you have a property, this is a very, very bad time to sell. But if you have some funds, some spare funds, this is a very good time to buy, because there are some properties that you can buy now, especially on distress. In the next 12 to 18 months, you can make very, very fantastic returns on those properties. So, as you know, about property guy on the planet, your property advisor, your property consultant, Rabi Mustafa. Thanks for watching this episode, and don't forget to like our page and subscribe to our channel for more fantastic updates like this. Thank you.